And I said this to you before Libra in 2019.
Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Hello, Libra. Welcome to your July reading. My wonderful person, I'm Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. So in this vicinity, you should see me shuffling you guys cards that are already on my desk. So we're going to go ahead and get started with you guys overall energy from our wonderful Starseed Oracle and hop into your reading, my friend. So anywho, the card you guys have is Breath of the Cosmos. And it says, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Someone had that last month. I don't remember who it was at the moment, but taking that into account with all the cards I see for you guys, I can already tell you that this month is going to be a spiritual month, my friend. But what we're really talking about with this card is very similar to what I talked about with Cancer. I don't know if you guys have Cancer in your chart and you watched it. Probably wouldn't hurt you to do so. But it's really talking about aligning with your authentic self, and meaning that in the sense of your authentic self being that linking force between you as well as with spirit, right? So that's pretty much giving you your charge orders, if you will, of how it is that you move forward. To deduce that down in a more tangible sense, we're talking about, okay, I could really sum this up really quick. If you've ever seen the movie Us, then you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about, because it has a lot to do with authentic self being one and the same as higher self or inner child or whatever the case may be. And the whole theme for July for Libra is really going to be the battle between choosing to continue to follow the false self, meaning you being the byproduct of your life experiences, or you making the decision to align with your authentic self, taking all of the experience and the knowledge that you have from your former life or former self, in a sense. So it's more or less about what you're fighting for, if you will, right? Or trying to tell spirit how to do spirit's job, right? Like saying, you know, and I used this example with somebody last month who got this card. I was talking about the movie The Shack, if you've ever seen it, and they have a really great scene in that movie where it's a great illustration of what micromanaging the universe looks like, which is when we kind of tell spirit, like, why did you let this happen to me? And I would have done this like this, and this person needs to do da 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 da, and this person should deal with this type of deal. And it's needing to understand that, or change one's perspective to understand that things are always working in your favor, even if they don't, and that the universe wouldn't single you out to kind of like jack up your life, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because that falls into this whole thing with entitlement and blah, blah, blah. But anywho, moving right along. So into your cards, the central energy for this month is the Four of Swords in the reverse. That's challenged by the Six of Wands. The energy that your past influence that you're coming into July with is the Page of Wands in the reverse. Your underlying energy is the Hermit. Your above energy is the Hanged Man in the reverse, which looks kind of interesting. And then going forward into August, you guys have the 10 of Cups in the reverse. And your underlying root energy is the 10 of Swords in the reverse. So that's why all of this stuff is going down. So I want to start here, actually. With the 10 of Swords in the reverse being here, that's letting me know why all of this is happening in a very literal sense. Because, oh, I just got a message on my website. My assistant will answer that. But anyway, with the 10 of Swords in the reverse, it's letting me know that you guys are not letting something go, or you're avoiding something. Now, how you're going about avoiding that, I see in this Four of Swords in the reverse, because with the Four of Swords in the reverse, we're really talking about like an overworking or an overexertion in one particular area, which is an imbalance. So it's neglecting another part. If I were to kind of jump ahead to what you guys would leave this month realizing about yourself with this 10 of Cups here in the reverse, it's more or less that's what's being avoided. There's something that Libra wants or desires, right? that's either being neglected or being ignored, right? So it feels a tad bit to me like projection. You know what I mean? Meaning that it could be, I'm trying to think of a good example. It could be hypothetically, say your feelings were hurt in, I don't know, childhood or something. You were bullied as a kid or something like that. Or, well, no, let's not even go that far. Let's just go like to a bad relationship within the last couple of years or so, right? And the way that, and this is all hypothetical, by the way, but you had a bad relationship, somebody blocked you, dumped you, whatever. And what you did to supplement for that feeling is you threw yourself into work, right? So you're like a workaholic now, super duper successful, so on and so forth. And the thing that you're fighting to get to, the sense of victory, or accolades, recognition, whatever the case may be, you fast forward till now, it's like this is all your life is about. So it's almost like forgetting that the reason why you started working so hard wasn't just because you wanted to do it, but because it was a distraction from something that disappointed you in the past, right? Now, the thing that isn't being acknowledged is how this falls into the false self. Is the false self in this case would be the person post breakup, the person who was hurt by this breakup. And this is what the person who was hurt after the breakup did. That's the path that they chose. The person prior to the breakup, and this is hypothetical, that was your quote unquote authentic self, right? So you morphed and did something to protect yourself from being hurt, and you took a pathway. Now this pathway is more or less being blocked. I mean, worst case scenario with the Four of Swords in the reverse, it's you guys hitting burnout because you're overexerting yourself so much that you kind of like made yourself sick. That's absolute worst case scenario. And some of y'all could be recovering from, you know, minor surgeries and things of the sort. But anywho, but that's the path that the person took that was wounded. So more or less, the question that Libra would be asking themselves this month, and what would have to be confronted and faced, is this thing that you're not letting go of, because it was an attempt to run away from it, like this pain or this disappointment or whatever, but it's not actually facing it. So it's kind of bringing you full circle where this month you're still going to have to deal with it. So it kind of falls into that energy, like I say, with the Seven of Swords. What you skip will trip you up later. This isn't more or less you guys being tripped up. It's just that the thing that you are running away from is coming home to roost, if you will. Not in like a karmic, you know, bad message, ominous kind of sense, but it's just this is something that you want to cut ties with, right? But I feel this is going to be something that ends up happening during this time, because I feel like it's going to be, this can manifest a couple of different ways, Libra. This is either, like I said, worst case scenario, you guys getting burnt out to where you have no choice but to lay down, you know, and rest yourself to actually contemplate some things. Or this is going to come in the form of some type of block. It's like something, especially with this Hangman in reverse being at the top of all of this, it's like this is almost like divine intervention that's forcing you to pause and have to look at things. But the way that it's initiated is more or less a solitary spiritual journey in a sense. Because with this Page of Wands coming into July, you guys may come into the month feeling like you need to take a step back and kind of just sort through some things and not really know what it is. It's just something's telling you, like you feel like something's just off balance. And you're feeling like you just need to take a step back and be alone because you just need to sort through some things or whatever. So I feel like that's kind of like how it's instigated. So it's like you just feel you need to kind of rethink some stuff. But how it ends up manifesting going into the month is it's manifesting as an actual like pause. And how that's going to show up in 3D is either going to be you guys getting sick. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw this before like a year ago with, I think, like Scorpio or something. And I know one of my subbies actually told me that they ended up spraining their ankle or something like that. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's literal worst case scenario. But it's more or less feeling you need to slow down and something happening that's actually going to force you to slow down. But it doesn't have to be an external event. It could be something that you planned on doing being canceled. Or I don't know, everybody being busy one day and you don't have any type of distractions, but it's going to be something that's going to force you guys to be alone, to have to kind of be left with your thoughts in a sense. And I feel that's when the spiritual intervention type of thing happens. So the whole purpose of this month is for you guys to deal with this thing that I feel has been avoided. And how it should be dealt with is more or less redefining what your definition of success is. You know what I mean? Or your definition of love, or whatever it is in you guys' life specifically. Because I feel the path that you guys are forging towards or charging towards, it's not necessarily for you, or it's either being on the wrong path because it's a path that you're on out of wounding, you know what I mean? Or trying to prove a point to other people, or trying to prove a point to yourself, you know what I mean? Or it's something that you started that's from an impure place. And I say impure meaning that it's not in alignment with your highest truth or your values. Like, it's not something that's really important to you. It's just kind of, I don't want to say coping. It's just, and I feel like I said this in you guys' daily reading one of these days. It's like it's taking this path, but it's not from your heart. It was like almost like settling for it, if that makes sense. And I feel the opportunity that you're being offered. So it's not saying for everybody. For some people, that's literally the case, where you're on a path that isn't really what you want. For others of you, it's just a mindset that needs to change of why it is that you're on this path. So it's more or less your own personal values and desires and dreams and things of the sort need to be infused into this situation, and you guys move forward that way, or getting reacquainted with why you headed this way. And for some people, it's the fact that you're on the wrong path entirely. And I feel that's where the whole managing the universe thing comes in, because it's a level of spiritual wisdom that's needed in situations like this, where it's like a lot of times we'll feel like, the rug keeps getting pulled from under us, or like, Spirit, why do you keep blocking me? Why do things never work out for me? And it's not because Spirit just doesn't want stuff to work out for you. It's like sometimes blocks and resistance in situations are a sign from the universe that we're not headed in the right direction. So it's almost like a sense of like towers, like tower moments. I love the Tower card because that's Spirit saving us from ourselves. Like, this would be a prime example of what leads up to the Tower card actually happening. Because the Tower itself is defenses that have been built up because of things we've experienced in life and have yet to process. And it alters the course of our life so much and takes us so far off track from who we are, from Spirit, from our initial path, that the Tower crumbling is literally Spirit trying to save you from yourself, because you about to mess your life all the way up on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you guys aren't on a part to where you're so off course. It's just a change in perspective that needs to happen, like reattuning to why it is you headed this way in the first place. Or it's simply just needing to heal this thing or confront this thing that you're not letting go. Because whatever this is that you're holding on to from your past, that is the motivator. And you don't want to build. So this would be like your foundation. If you think about building a house, this Ten of Swords in the reverse would be like the foundation of the house. You don't want to build the foundation of your house on the Ten of Swords in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be on a leveled foundation. You want to build it from the Ten of Cups, upright would be like the ideal. You know what I'm saying? Your life is built on your truth, your desires, on balance, on harmony, things that are reflective of your true values, your true desires, a life that's reflective of you. You know what I mean? Where things are right now is building on a foundation that's a reflection of your pain, a reflection of your disappointments, a reflection of things that you've been through in the past that you want to completely avoid, that you don't want to live again. You know what I mean? And that's not what you want to build this on. Because if you do continue forward with this Ten of Cups in the reverse, you're never going to be truly fulfilled, because you're building a life that was never intended to belong to you in the first place. So this is more or less a forewarning. You know what I mean? It's what are you really fighting for? Why are you doing everything that you're doing? So this month is really a month of self-reflection and really reconsidering what the true motivator is behind everything that you're doing or have been doing up to this point. So it's not anything bad. It's not ominous. It's not anything negative. It's just getting reacquainted with yourself. So this is more or less spirit saying, let's take a time out so we can think things through, Libra. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's a great thing. In the bigger scheme of things, I feel like this is awesome because much like I told Cancer, this is like a portal that everyone is going through. And I'm saying that hypothetically speaking, it's like a portal everyone is going through. And the only catch-22 about this journey is you can't take any carry-on bags. You know what I mean? Only you can go through. Nothing else can come with you. So all of this stuff can't come. Because if this comes with you, you're only going to recreate what you've lived up to this point in the future, and you don't want that. So that's why this pause is happening. So I would say, and I said this to someone before, I want to say I said this in one of the Woke Culture daily readings. I don't know if it was to you guys, but that's what these blocks and these pauses are for, is to rethink things. Like sometimes when we hit like a crossroads, each choice that, and I said this to you before, Libra, in 2019, with our choices, I might have to link that reading. With our choices, we create a statement of who we are with every choice that we make every single day, right? That's how you create your reality, is with your choices. So there's several crossroads throughout, hundreds of them, throughout the course of a day that we all run into. And whatever path you choose is a statement of who you are in that moment, right? That's how our realities are created, from choice. So the key here is being cognizant and being aware of what you're choosing. You know what I mean? Because if I were to go back to this card, it's if a person were to be in a state of where you stand today, where I stand today, where all of us stand today in this present moment, is a byproduct of every choice we've ever made up to this moment. And then to turn around and blame it on spirit don't make us make choices. Those of you who believe in the devil don't make you make choices either. You know what I'm saying? What we choose ultimately is on us. That's what free will is your ability to choose whatever it is that you want. You know what I mean? So we're always making choices. Even if you feel that there is not a choice, there's always a choice. Even if it's just about how you choose to feel about something, how you choose to remember something, how you choose to define something. Those are all choices. But this is more or less giving you guys an opportunity to take personal accountability, because that's what this year is all about. The entire year of 2020 is about building the foundation for our lives, us having opportunities to do so, and taking personal accountability for what's created. So in the bigger scheme of things, me looking at this month is a blessing, because it gives you an opportunity to really come down and be real with yourself. What is it that you're avoiding? This block isn't a negative thing. This is a blessing in disguise in so many words. And there's a need to understand that's a consistent cycle in life, and surrendering to that process, that sometimes we do have to sit back and really get clear on who we are, where we are, and what we're doing, which is what I said in the WokeBook in 2019. Just saying, throwing that out there. But anywho, Libra, that has been your reading. I'm going over to Vimeo, Patreon, YouTube members, and my website to do you guys extended. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your freaking face. I will see you guys soon and later. Deuces. Or feeling so disappointed up to a point where it's certain things you just want to run away from. So everything that has not worked out up to this point has been a blessing in disguise. And this is like energy that's going into the end of July, into August, and that kind of panning out.